What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. Peter Thomas goes on an interview with Carlos King on his YouTube channel, and he is sharing, where things are with him and Cynthia today. He talks about his time on Real Housewives of Atlanta, how he feels about Nene and Phaedra, and he also calls Kenya Moore the smartest housewife. Now, I love Kenya Moore. She is, Miss USA, former in the 90s. She was an icon, model, actress, all that good stuff. I think Candy Burris is the smartest housewife, and she has the receipts literally to prove it, but that's just my opinion. So, as we know, Peter, he goes on Carlos King's podcast, and he does not hold back on revealing details from his time on the show. And the things that he had to say were truly eye-opening. And in my opinion, I feel like he overshared. And I might not be the only ones, okay, if you get my drift. If you guys saw the interview, and I'll link it in the description box so you guys can go ahead and, see it. I'll give you the link for easy reference. But he definitely had loose lips on there. So while he was on Carlos King's podcast titled Reality with the King, Peter claimed that he was the driving force behind getting Cynthia on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, saying that she was terrified to join the show. He says, quote, "Cynthia did not want to do the show. She knew nothing of the show," Peter explained. "She was scared. She didn't want to do it. She was terrified." He says, "I had to talk her into it. The first time they filmed her, she wasn't impressive. I sat her down and said, 'You got to tell these people who you are. Stop playing.'" He says he also coached her for 3 years. And he says he was responsible for her rise to fame in the world of reality TV. The ego on this man. You know who he reminds me of? Kevin Hunter with Wendy Williams. Like, he claimed that he created her and made her too. "I made the purple chair." No, you didn't. Have several seats, sir. Okay. So Carlos reveals that Cynthia used to be mad at Peter for stealing scenes. Because, Carlos King used to be a producer on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I believe for 6 seasons before they fired him, allegedly. But no, he said that he got fired, and he created Love and Marriage Huntsville, which is problematic in and of itself. It comes on tonight at 8:00. You're welcome, Carlos. But I'll definitely bring you guys my recap of that as well. So taking camera time away from her and interfering with her relationship with Nene Leakes. He says, quote, "I thought that was the dumbest mess." He didn't say mess, but I'm saying mess because YouTube, we keep it family friendly over here. "I thought that was the dumbest mess ever because I think the whole purpose while we're on the show was because the money that they were paying her was because of us as a couple." No, sir. It's called Real Housewives of Atlanta. Patricia. He is a mess. Peter is a mess. As for Cynthia's relationship with Nene, Peter said that he would be on the receiving end of Cynthia's wrath when the cameras weren't rolling because of what she was expecting from other members of the cast, specifically Nene. The only reason why I laughed is because I can't see Cynthia having, she doesn't strike me as an angry person or someone that's filled with rage or wrath. The only time I saw Cynthia get bucked the whole time she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta was when they were on that boat and Portia kept trying her and she kicked her. But Portia provoked her. But anywho, and I believe that's why Cynthia didn't get reprimanded, because of what happened, with Portia and Kenya and Portia pulling her hair. So you can't, say, "Oh, Kenya provoked me," and then turn around and provoke Cynthia. So, but okay, going back to, the interview. He says, "I used to wake up every morning with Nene on the phone with Cynthia. And I used to go to bed every night and they're on the phone. I'm like, why are you talking to the enemy?" He called Nene the enemy. He says, "I think Nene used Cynthia to try to check me." Nene checked you. She called you Patricia. She said, "Stay out of women's business." She didn't need Cynthia, Peter. He is a mess and a half. Okay. He says that Nene wasn't happy with the show showing more of the housewives' husbands as it took screen time away from her. I mean, Nene's you know what I think? Nene and Peter, they have the same personality. That's what it is. They're too much alike. It just struck me just now when he said that. Nene would be like, oh, this is him saying, yeah, stay out of women's business. And he would say, why? Because I'm taking time away from you. She did not like that. Well, you guys are two peas in a pod. You're both camera hungry and fame hungry. Peter revealed that he also took up to 15% of Cynthia's paycheck. He says, quote, everyone has their glam squad and stylists and hair and makeup people. And, I used to take 15% whenever the check came because I had to keep myself up too. Also, he didn't say self, but okay. He said the reason for the cut, greed, but okay. We see what's going on with bar none, and the feds now, but he says it's because he needed to be compensated for his time on Real Housewives of Atlanta because it took him away from his other various businesses. Peter, oh my goodness, Peter, pumpkin eater. Cynthia isn't the only housewife that Peter came to spill the tea about. He also took aim at Phaedra Parks. He says, quote, I didn't like her from day one, never did. I think she's the kind of person who throws the rock and then hides her hands. And I'm like, this chick is messy as blank. She would push Portia to do her dirty work. Okay, well, that's fair. One housewife he did have respect for was Kenya Moore. He dubbed her the smartest female on the show. When Carlos asked if Peter thought that Kenya was the smartest woman on reality TV, Peter replied, for sure. He said, Kenya gets this-ish. She doesn't take it personal. She understands that it's a job. Most of these women she wouldn't be friends with in real life. See, Peter is messy. She wouldn't be friends with in real life. And you're really messy. She understands what comes along with being on camera. I love the way that Kenya looks at it as a business. Peter recalled Kenya telling him right before they were about to do a scene that she was going to blow his effing head off. I really like that, Peter said, laughing. I'd be like, you got me. I can't wait to get you back. He was really jealous of all the housewives and their fame. I really believe that. Going back to Cynthia, Peter said the two speak ever so often just to check in. I'm glad that she got at least $100K, which is what happened. If you guys don't know, he took her money. I think it was like 150 or something like that to start Bar One in Baltimore. That flopped. And she had to take him to court. And then she sued him, and he told her he would give her $100K if she dropped the lawsuit, and she did, which is smart. I would have took the $100K too, because right now, man, I don't think he got it. That's what the people in Miami says. But okay, I made a video about that as well. You guys can go check that out if you want, that he's being evicted. But he says that if he were to do another reality show, it would have to be something he actually wanted to do. And his restaurants are doing, quote unquote, extremely well. Now, those are his words. That's not what his landlord says. That's not what the federal government says. That's not what his staff, his manager, his waitresses say. That's not what the patrons say, the customers. Okay. But that's what Peter says. So, okay, that's his truth. And another thing that he said that was concerning was that Apollo, if you guys know, it was Phaedra's ex-husband, got sent back to prison for fraud, and the federal government was trying to take his assets, I think like cars and like jet skis, and in order to take those and get that money back to his victims, right? So he had his stuff at Todd and Candy's house. So the feds came there, and, the Tuckers, they were like, there it is, take it, which they have too much to lose, okay? Candy and Todd, they're smart, they're business people. Peter says, on the other hand, that he took the stuff, allegedly, okay? This is what he says, but I'm saying alleged to protect myself. But he says on this interview that I'm going to link that he took the stuff, gave it to Apollo's people so that they could sell it, and then they gave the money to Apollo. Now, I know Peter is from Jamaica, but around here, between Normandy and Weston, that, sir, is a federal, what's his name? Rocky Bivens. He's like, it's federal. It's federal. That, sir, is federal. You do not play with the feds. in the USA. They don't play about their money. I can't believe he said that. You know what? Between him and Ariane Curry, I need for people to stop incriminating themselves on YouTube. Like, what in the y'all don't know you're being recorded and got loose lips that sink ships all day long. Anyway, everything that I say in this video is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, because y'all not going to take me down with you, okay? I don't make the news. I just, convey it to the people, okay? But anyway, y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to see the interview, I will link it for you in the description box. Please be sure to hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Also, subscribe. If you're new here, welcome. And I will talk with you guys later. See you in the next video, Aces. Take care. Bye.